Hello everyone and welcome back. I've been down for a few days, a little bit of a flu, but it doesn't mean that stuff isn't happening. For example, it looks like Creative Assembly and Sega are going to a event called Billy World. Now I've had to ask around and apparently this is basically like the big games expo for China in Shanghai. I've seen this artwork floating about and it seems that it is going to be focused around Total War 40k, which is going to be next month. Now this is pretty interesting considering that we just had some big news drops coming out, but I guess more information is going to come out as time progresses. I just didn't expect it being so quick. Creative Assembly of course love to drip feed alongside the fact that we are waiting for information around the end times. You know, that's the next DLC and nothing has really come out of it just yet, barring just some confirmations of characters and like one picture here or there. I guess it's going to take a while until such information comes out, but this is going to be quite curious because there's a few things that can happen here. One, it could just be recycling information that we've already seen before, which I very much doubt, or it could be one of two things after that. So Creative Assembly have actually done events in China before, which is a big thing because it's information that we don't get. It's usually like these investor meetings and stuff like that. And I imagine something could be the same way there. Or it could end up just being a full-on information release, but the information will release in China first. Yeah, I know, sounds weird, but it's happened before. Now the benefit here on both matters is we'll find out eventually. If this is a China first thing, the information will drip the next day or, will pass its way onto the Reddit as soon as that information comes out. If it's a China only thing, one of those investor meetings like they've done before and the rest, well, everything will leak. We did have this last year when it came to the Tides of Torment stuff. Actually, I think it was a little bit further back, but that leak ended up being true, the sea elementals and all the rest. So, hey, whatever happens, if it's China only, we can assume it's all true until proven otherwise. I do imagine they'll have to talk about all the other stuff. At that point, it's been a while since Bershiva, so Lords of the End Times will have to come out at some point next month, right? I do think they said something was going to happen in June, but we're already third in the way of the month, so yeah, I don't know. Maybe I could be proven wrong, which would be good, because at the end of the day, we need to see more end times information. It's something that I think we're all really waiting for. But CA have an issue of delaying stuff until big events such as Billy World. So the question stands as what we can expect to see in July, or what we can expect to see leaked. Well, we've already seen some basic gameplay, very small clips, which isn't really ideal. I think Creative Assembly have been taking their time when it comes to showcasing clips. Don't get me wrong, the last showcase was pretty damn cool and did present a lot of information, but I think people want to see how the units work, how they move around, and the rest. It'd be kind of cool if they started showing, actual full-on combat, maybe focusing around the Space Marines, I'd say. I know it's not like the most amazing thing because a lot of people do have Space Marine fatigue, those who aren't really too used to the 40k setting, but I do feel like it would be a really good thing to show off, because they are the poster boys, right? And we could see how a lot of heavy weaponry could work. Or, given the fact that they have showcased Yarrick and Gazkul first as the first legendary lords, so maybe going into details regarding tank movements, that's something that I'm really curious about. Mostly because we've got vehicles, right? We do have vehicles in Total War Warhammer, but these need to be a little bit better, especially as we're expecting a lot of weird terrain. And, a lot of hover vehicles, which are going to act a little bit strange until everything gets done well. And this is going with not just the Space Marines, but also the Eldar too. It would be nice to get a faction breakdown, because we know that there's 4 playable factions from the very launch of the game. The Eldar, the Orcs, the Space Marines, and of course the Imperial Guard, also known as the Astra Militarum. All of them are kind of cool. Maybe it's about time that we start seeing faction reveals. Yes, they've been revealed so far, but I mean in the case of, hey, how about we see a little bit of detail, go into a little bit of information, some lore, the rest. Everyone already knows the lore of these factions, but those who aren't really used to 40k could kind of take advantage of that. A small breakdown just going into individual factions, confirming a few units here and there would be lovely. Obviously, we've seen a few, and if you've played Tabletop before or any of the other many Warhammer 40k games, you'll know what these units are, but it's always good to just get that word out. maybe going into detail regarding like how certain items will work, unit variants. Like this is the perfect example actually. There's a lot of different types of Space Marine intercessors, for example, right? So there's the basic intercessors, there's assault intercessors, the heavy ones. Those are all new units, but the basic intercessors have 3 different types of bolter, which each of those bolters are very different. Are we going to be able to upgrade and switch around, like how it works in Battle Sector, for example, or are they going to be individualized units? That's all really good information, because it's a variant, and it's not really too exciting unless you play a specific type of playstyle when it comes to certain Space Marines. Because yes, you know, the Stalker one is better for long range, and the Heavy Bolter one is just better for just extra fire. It just depends on what you want from your Space Marines, but that type of information would be cool. We don't want a bloat, but it would be good to get options. There are certain units, for example, in Total War Warhammer, the Greenskins I think is the best option here to use as an example. We're missing so many unit variants. It's just literally like additional hand weapons or spear and shield. They're just missing loads. They could easily do like a Champions of Chaos pack for like the Greenskins, by the way. But like that's what I mean. So I'd love to see what happens there. That being said, we've seen literally nothing of the Eldar, barring just a small clip. Really, it's just artwork. It's them just basically having a little shot of something that says Bael'tan. So it's like, okay, cool, you know, it's likely going to be like the Bael'tan craft world to focus around that, which makes sense. It's very popular. I mean, thankfully, we do see that a fair amount of Eldar stuff is on the key art, which is obviously really, really cool, because I know a lot of people do like the Eldar, especially as the Eldar have been getting model updates finally after so many years. It looks like Games Workshop's priority is shifting to actually updating lines all over the place, which is really good to see. Even if it is moving very slowly, as the attention slowly turns, well, not slowly, but turns straight back to the Space Marines. I'm appreciative of the fact that they've got like cooler helmets now, but oh my god, right? I'm rambling and wishlisting because, well, let's be fair, it's been a drip feed. We're kind of used to it because obviously that's what's happened before in the past with, Warhammer 3 and the Ogre Kingdoms. Remember when they said that they were going to announce the Ogre Kingdoms very, very soon? It took them like 6 months. I'm just hoping that information starts dropping in. We do know, for example, that, again, they are going in beta at the end of the year. It's going to be a closed beta, which likely means we're not going to see this game anytime soon. So I'm expecting, I don't know, realistically a summer 2027 release date. Who knows, right? It depends. And that's a good thing. They should take their time, right? They should really take their time, make sure that it's good, so we don't have the same issues that we had with Warhammer 3, with Pharaoh, and a few others. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Start a bit of discussion. I do apologize again. I've had the flu. But I've got some fun videos on the works. For example, finally bought all the last materials to get back onto battle reports. I'm going to do a video on how to build a battle report table for cheap, which is going to be very, very useful. And yeah, probably a few injuries to come. I'll let you guys know. I'll see you all very, very soon, guys. Have a good day.